A respected and prolific children's author and educator, Martin's literary career has spanned more than 50 years, beginning with the publication of his first book, The Little Squiggy Bag, in 1945 and was revised in 2001. Martin frequently collaborates with a variety of writers and illustrators in his long line of picture books, which are typically composed with the developmental needs of young children in mind. Through clever wordplay and repetition, Martin creates narratives that both entertain and enrich the language skills of young readers. In 1967, Martin released his most acclaimed work to date, Brown Bear, What Do You See?, beginning a continuing partnership between the author and respected illustrator Eric Carle. Born on March 20, 1916 in Hiawatha, Kansas, one of the five siblings, Martin received his first lessons in storytelling from his grandmother, who often recited tales about his family's history. After attending Kansas State Teachers College, Martin taught high school journalism, drama, and English until 1941. After the bombing of Pearl Harbor, he enlisted in the Air Force and served throughout World War II as a military newspaper editor. During this period, Martin received a letter from his brother, Bernard, who had been injured in the military training exercise. Bernard asked his brother to write a children's book that he could illustrate during the convalescence. The result was The Little Squee Bag. After the war, Martin and Bernard started their publishing company, Tell Will Press, and released the book. Before focusing on children's literature, Martin involved himself in various writing styles, including poetry and songs. He was also a playwright and a magazine editor, showcasing his versatility as a writer. Martin's ability to create rhythmic, descriptive verse and clever rhymes has often been praised by critics who comment that the author's simple but skillful story constructions hold great appeal for the beginning readers. Other interesting and pertinent information regarding Martin is that Martin frequently collaborates with a variety of writers and illustrators in his long line of picture books, which are typically composed with the developmental needs of young children in mind, and he believed in the power of storytelling and music to engage young learners and promote literacy. His books have received numerous awards, including the American Library Association Notable Children's Book Award and the Parents' Choice Award. He was also posthumously inducted into the Kansas National Education Association's Teachers Hall of Fame. Martin released his most acclaimed work to date, Brown Bear, What Do You See?, beginning a continuing partnership between the author and respected illustrator Eric Carle. Carl was invited to the party as a guest, and Martin was the last-minute replacement for another attendee. Then the two decided to work together on a book which went to become the beloved classic in the children's literature. Martin creates narratives that both entertain and enrich the language skills of young readers. He often traveled to school and libraries to read his books to children and share his love for reading. Two notable books that emerged from the Tellwell Press period have been re-released in recent years. The Little Squiggy Bag and Chicken Chuck in 1941, revised in 2000. The Little Squiggy Bag is the story of an ambitious bug that becomes a firefly with the help of the caterpillar and spider, becoming the first of many animal-related titles the Martin brothers produced in the 1940s and 1950s. Chicken Chuck is another tale of animal transformations, in which Chuck's ingestion of a blue seed causes the feather to grow on his forehead. Chuck's change makes him arrogant and jealous, resulting in an adventure at the circus and ends with all of the barnyard animals getting blue feathers of their own. Another notable little or title from this period is Knots on a Counting Rope, published in 1966 and revised in 1987, was later reworked with co-author John Archambault and republished in 1987. In the story, an Indian grandfather encourages his blind grandson to remember events from his past and to face future challenges with confidence. The old man leaves the boy a knotted rope to symbolize the passing of time and to help the child remember his history. Several Martin's older titles have received newly updated or revised edition in the past 2 decades, including The Happy Hippopotami, published in 1970 and revised in 1990, which follows a swarm of hippos in the humorous situations on the beach, accompanied by Martin's signature rhyming and appropriately silly text. The Maestro Plays, published in 1970, revised in 1994, builds a story around a musical conductor who explains to readers how he plays a variety of instruments. Fire, Fire, said Mrs. Maguire, published in 1970, revised in 1995. This is an adaptation of a classic rhyme originally appeared in 1970 but received new illustrations in a 1995 edition. The Wizard, which is published in 1970 and revised in 1994, centers on an awkward magician who falls into his own cauldron, while The Turning of the Year, published in 1970, revised in 1998, uses a stark poetic language to detail the changing seasons. One of Martin's most popular collaboration with Archambault was the Chica Chica Boom Boom in 1989, a lively alphabet book with artwork by Lois Ellert, in which the authors assemble the ABCs in a mad dash to the top of the tree. In addition to his partnership with Archambault, Martin also teamed up with Michael Sampson to create several children's works during the 1990s and beyond. Their first effort revolved around sports-themed Swish in 1997, recounts the details of the hotly contested girls' basketball game. In Little Granny Quarterback in 2001, an elderly woman, a former high school quarterback, sees that her favorite football team is losing on television. Getting out of bed, she goes into the television and leads the team to victory. Though close observers of the illustration will see that she has never left her bedroom. Rocket Sackett number line in 2001 constructs a counting primer with the help of the dancing vegetables, while I Pledge Allegiance in 2002 attempts to explain the pledge to students by breaking each line down and providing historical context. In Caddy, the Golf Dog in 2002, a stray blue dog finally finds a home for himself and her little pups in a golf course. In the last year at Holt, Martin published Brown Bear, What Do You See? An instant classic, which became a prototype template for Martin's subsequent works with Carl. Told through verse, Brown Bear helps to teach basic colors to young readers by having a bear describe the different animals and shapes he sees in the forest. Martin reprised his motif in Polar Bear, What Do You Hear in 1991, which focuses on the sound made by a group of zoo animals. In Panda Bear, What Do You See in 2003, the duo explore the world of endangered species, asking children to identify animals by their movements. Through the pages of the book, the readers see bald eagles soaring, spider monkeys swinging, and macaroni penguins strutting. Martin also adapted the brown bear format for Adam, Adam, What Do You See in 2000, a Christian children's tale illustrated by Kathy Filstead that presents the number of well-known biblical figures. And this concludes my report. Thank you so much for listening.